What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. It is Thursday, December 5th, 2024, year of our Lord. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and family? What's going on? How y'all feel today? I want to say that I love you. I appreciate you. I think that this is going to be a little bit more of a controversial show today. I don't know how controversial it's going to be, but I'm going to just say that I think that it's going to be a great show today. I think that today's show is going to be awesome. What's up, sister? How you feel? What's up to everybody in the chat? What up, what up, what up? I think that it's going to be an interesting day today. This show in particular, and then tonight's show on After Hours. Make sure y'all tap in to After Hours if you haven't already. If you're here for the first time, just hit a like for the algorithm. That's your reasonable service. If you've been here more than once, I welcome you to subscribe and then turn on your notifications because we do this every Monday through Friday. My meeting that I anticipated having today in 11 minutes actually got pushed back to Monday. So we was able to do the normal time. I was able to spend some time this morning making sure that everything had got out as far as the Patreon. If you guys are not a part of the Patreon, please consider doing so. I dropped an exclusive video this morning on the Patreon in anticipation because I needed to drop this video before we did the next block club. So you need to watch this video. And then when we stream block club, where I go in and I break down every single individual cost of what it took in order for me to do my first build. So now I'm a property developer. Instead of just buying properties turnkey, I am a property developer. So, in order for you guys to get the total picture and you'll understand it, it's best for you to watch this video today of the entire walkthrough from, concept, buying property, the forest, all of that stuff, knocking down trees, all the way up until the finished product, how long it took me. We're going to go over every single detail. I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons. And then in addition to that, I'm going to tell you why I decided to go into property development full time instead of just buying turnkey properties and then putting people in them. So if you guys want the entire picture, if you want everything, and then you want the breakdown, because again, I think it's important for you to take your advice from people that's actually doing it, experiencing it, so they can show you in real time what they're learning, what their falls. And I'm not just going to tell you the stuff that made it successful. I'm going to tell you the things that I stumbled, what I overspent on, what I would do differently, how I'm pivoting for the next 2 or 3 properties, everything like that. So I give you everything. I show you my bank accounts. I show you my transfers, all of that. If you guys are not a part of the Bag Chasers, then you need to go ahead and get inside of the Bag Chasers. The link to the Patreon is in the description. There is no course. There is no huge amount of money. A lot of people paying $9 because they got in on it early, and that's just the end of it, right? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all of my chasers. Shout out to everybody. Get your tickets to come and kick it with me December 14th in Detroit. And then Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. So shout out to all of the chasers. Block Club, after y'all watch this video today, I am going to put up when we're going to do Block Club for the live stream, and then we got Stock Club right after that, and then we got the budgeting video, all right? Because I want y'all to go into the new year running exactly how I do my budget, how I've refined my budget to be more exceptional. It's going to be the best budgeting video ever. All right, so, yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting show today. Since my meeting got pushed back, I spent last night getting out and doing all the reviews. So I got a team that I'm still managing. I'm still waiting on the go ahead for me to be able to retire from corporate America. But in the meantime, I still got to do year-end reviews. So I spent last night getting my team's reviews together and working on different things and making sure that you guys are always going to be up to date on what's going on, and then preparing for this show. So interesting show today. What we got lined up is I'm going to talk about this UnitedHealthcare CEO's murder. We're going to go into details on that because I got a little bit of a different spin on it than probably everybody is expecting. And I want to talk about Joe Biden. I want to go over Charlamagne the God holding Whoopi Goldberg accountable over Hunter Biden's pardon. I want to go over Tiffany Henyard's update of her getting ousted. So much stuff to cover. We have a lot to talk about today, all right? So we got a full show lined up for y'all today. Monday is probably going to be the day that we do the show a little bit earlier, but I'll give you guys an update on that. And we getting it popping. So what's going on? How y'all feel? What's happening, friends and family? I hope y'all feel good. I hope y'all tuned in for the show and sent this to your friends and family because this is the, by far, greatest morning show on earth. Let me give a shout out to all of the early Cash Appers and Super Chatters before we get started with the show. Hate these notifications. Can't stand them. ESDC, shout out to ESDC. I appreciate you for holding me down. Mike, that dude on Cash App, shout out to you. And Rand Wilson, I am aware of that, but I am researching it so I can give y'all the full show. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So shout out to everybody that held me down on Cash App. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of the early super chats. Camille Edwards says, good day, Mr. Daniels. What skill set did you need to pursue content creation as a business? Dedication. It wasn't anything that I already knew. I'm an OG content creator. A lot of people don't know that. I've been in this content game for well over 10 years. This channel has been in existence for around 4 years now, close to 4 years. It'll be a 4-year anniversary next year. The Anton Daniels channel, I've been documenting the journey for well over 8 to 10 years. After Hours is now a channel that used to be Fight Club that existed for about 2 years. And I figure it out as I go. The thing that I notice about successful people versus people that are not successful, and this is in any industry, we just go. We have a dedication and like a zeal about us. We're not waiting for somebody else to tell us what to do. We're not trying to get the game or whatever. We learn as we go. We source the information and we pivot as we figure it out. And so that's what I've learned about people that are super successful is that they just don't wait. They go. They go. They don't care about failure. They don't care about losing money. They don't care about any of that stuff. I figure it out as I go and I grow with the brand. So, if I just start doing what I was doing and I was documenting the journey and I was leveraging in order to create more visibility in corporate America. Then it evolved into something else. And then I started showing the things that I was passionate about. At the time I was riding motorcycles and doing exploration videos, urbex. I was the biggest urbex explorer in Michigan. And I was really obsessed with architecture because that's the thing that I originally thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to be an architect. And so I was the last person to explore the Pontiac Silverdome. And then I brought people even further into my life. And I wasn't afraid of people knowing what my life was like. So I started talking about the money I was spending and the high roller. And then I took people on a journey of when I was building my first restaurant and all of my investments. And I, showed people my family and my problems and my issues and my troubles. And, when I would get into a problem or issue or situation, I would talk about it online and I would tell people the successes and the failures. So I've always just been 100% authentic. I just been myself. And right or wrong, good or bad, I just honestly gave you my perspective. And I still do that today. I get a lot of pushback from people. When I gave the whole sentiment about Tiffany Henyard, and I didn't agree with people saying that she shouldn't be able to run in the primary for voters to decide whether or not she should or shouldn't be Thornton Township supervisor, even though I don't necessarily like her. People don't like that take. People didn't like the take that I had the other day when I said that I like Kevin Hart and he's my favorite comedian. Oh no, you should like Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams. I'm not like you. I don't look at the same things that you look at. And so I've never tried to focus on being popular. I've never tried to, and this is my whole life. I just never gave a F. I truly didn't care. The only thing I've ever cared about is being authentic. And I think that if more people stop trying to be like everybody else and more people actually embrace who they are, then we would have a greater society. But we going to get there. Shout out to you, Camille. You always ask phenomenal questions. I love that. I absolutely love that. Sean S. says, morning AD and the Chasers. For the collection plate, the UnitedHealthcare message is wow. I'm going to get there. Y'all always want me to jump out before y'all see what the name of the show is. I don't know if y'all just want to be first, but I appreciate you. Jad from Moore said, good morning, AD. Could you give a motivational speech for the people at my job? We just found out that our site is closing soon. They're feeling anxious. I don't have a motivational speech for you because I just authentically give my thoughts. And if it turns motivational, then it just turns motivational. But what I will say to you, shout out to sister, I appreciate you, baby. You always hold me down. But what I will say to you is that life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it. That is my life motto, philosophy. My father told me that, and that's the thing that I've lived by. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it. If you thought that this entire life and your entire existence was going to be based off of what it is that you did for a living, then you went for a surprise. Working, monetary gain, all of that. So many of us find our existence or we find our identity in what it is that we do for a living. The first thing that most people do when they meet each other, or when a girl meets a guy, or when people are at a networking event, they say, hey, what do you do for a living? And we think that our identity is tied to what you give yourself a title for professionally, and it's not. Never has been, never will be. That's the biggest life hack that you'll ever realize, is that your identity should never be tied into what you do for a living. Monetary gain is a means to an end. You get it how you live so that you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. And this is going to be the greatest opportunity for some of y'all. I know this ain't motivational because I'm going to tell you the truth. For some of y'all, you going to fail. For others of you, you're going to use this as an opportunity and realize that you got pushed out so that you can do what you was really supposed to do and be successful. A lot of us, we get monotonous and we then become content in our day-to-day lives, and we think our identity is just to be able to exist, breathe, take up oxygen on this earth and then die, and that's the end of it. That's not true. Never has been true. And so we need to separate the real from the fake, the ones that can really get it and those that just need a handout. And so the best thing that ever happened to me in my life personally was losing my job prior to the 2008 crisis. And then I had to reset because I don't think you see the Anton that you see today. I'm always meant to be successful, but I don't think that you see the Anton that you see today unless God forces me out of this situation and forces me to learn and go through it so that I can develop the character so that my character can keep me in the places that my talent is going to take me. It's just life. I don't know nobody that ain't never got laid off. I don't know nobody that ain't never had a job. I don't know nobody that ain't never been broke. That's life. But the question then becomes, what happens when you start to put people in a position where they have to separate the real from the fake? And so you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. You're not going to die. And as long as you got breath in your body, you got the opportunity to do great things. Y'all will be fine. Man up. Man up. I seen a video of a guy yesterday that people sent me that said, man, Anton ain't never being compassionate towards men. What about the people whose daughters, if somebody died and somebody just came in and killed somebody? I was conflicted because at first I was thinking to myself, well, maybe I should just tell people whatever it is that they want to hear and coddle them. Or maybe I'm going to tell you the truth. And I just can't. I prayed about it. And I'm not trying to understand your circumstance. The only thing I care about is giving you the truth. I am not here. Listen, there is a whole lot of people. You can join a Facebook group. You can go and be a part of a community. Everybody want me to hear their individual stories so that I can be compassionate towards them. I don't care. I don't care. You know why? Because at the end of the day, when you cut off this stream, you still gonna have to face whatever your situation is. So I can give you the honest to God truth on how you can pull yourself up out of that and what success looks like. Or you can sit here and make yourself feel good by me making sure that I'm more understanding. It's more popular. I can get more popularity. People will love me more. They'll say, "Oh, I rock with him because he truly gets me," and all of this stuff. I'm not trying to get you. I don't care. Society don't care about getting you. You the only person that got to care about getting you. Nobody, listen, if I wasn't successful, nobody would want to hear my story. Nobody is interested in hearing me. If I'm not great at speaking to the issues that people care about, even when it comes to this Millionaire Morning Show, it's 1,000 people on YouTube that stream at the same time that I do. But the reason that you tune into me every day is because I'm entertaining and then I put the medicine inside of the candy. You know, most people don't rock with me because they love me. They learn to love me. First, they learn to tolerate me. First, they don't like me. Then they learn to tolerate me because I pique their interest. And then after that, they have the come to Jesus moment if they're able to survive long enough to actually get the message. I never expected for anybody to just rock with me just because my name is Anton and I'm black. I got to add value into your life. And that's the separation from the people that's great and people that's not. Compassion is for your family members. Compassion is for your wife. Compassion is for your children. This is a dog eat dog world, and the ones that are going to survive, the ones that's going to be great, they're going to have to go back to that hunter-gatherer mentality. We've been so coddled, and we've been given all of these vices and these things to distract us. But in reality, the only thing that matters is whether or not you're thriving or you just trying to survive. That's it. That's it. So I'm gonna give you the truth. And I tried. to figure out what that thing is inside of people that, hey, SM. This is what I'm gonna tell you. Hey, let me preface what I'm gonna say for all of the people, because I run this in my time frame. If you in a church, if you at work and you got this on the big screen TV, if you are in a common area where it's not going to be conducive for you to hear the type of language that you're about to hear right now, I'm going to give you 15 seconds to turn the volume down. And just leave the volume down for like 1 minute and then turn it back up. I'll give you 15 seconds. SM, this is what I need you to do, big dog. Suck my dick. Suck it backwards. I don't care anything about what you, nobody is gonna rush me to do anything that I don't want to do when I don't want to do it. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. I don't give a fuck. You are talking to the wrong person. Please don't make me go back to what I used to be. I'm trying to go corporate. I'm trying to be nicer. I'm trying to do all of that. Dog, you can suck my... Real talk, dog. Don't nobody rush me through my show. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. Real talk. I hate when people try to rush me and tell me what to do. Don't you see me cooking? Don't you see me cooking? Now, I'm not that far removed. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, 20214 Greenlawn, 48221. Between Norfolk and Chippewa. 8 Mile and 7 Mile, Livernois and Wyoming. I'm not that far removed. Don't rush me. Don't rush me. Let me read some more of the super chats and we're going to go ahead and get back to the show. Y'all can turn the volume back up. You can turn the volume back up. All right? I ain't stressed. I ain't stressed at all. I've been in such a good mood. I've been floating on cloud 9. But see, I think that a lot of people, they mistake it and they think that just because you've been being nice all the time, that they could just go ahead and step in. You got to reset the room sometime to help people to understand. No, just because you see me on Fox News don't mean that I'm not still who I am. Remember that. Good morning, studying for my exams, watching the best show ever, graduating in 2 weeks. Shout out to my dog, Keisha. Sister, what up, sister? Shout out to my girl, sister. Good God. Good morning, Mr. AD. Thank you so much for creating a Patreon, creating a community of excellence. And shout out to you. Shout out to your car. Shout out to sister. Shout out to everybody that's in the bag chasers. I love y'all. I appreciate you, sister. You do too much. You can't keep doing that. I love you though. My bad, AD, not trying to jump the show. No, we good. You good. We gonna cook. We gonna slow cook today, as a matter of fact. AD, would you consider doing another mastermind session on the content creation if you've made any changes to your video from years ago? Yeah, I made a lot of changes. I could do that. We could do another mastermind session on that. Ashley Patterson says, good morning, Anton. Still going to start with a prayer? I don't know if I should pray today. Y'all gonna have to remind me before I start telling people what they can suck. You know what I'm saying, Ashley? Y'all got to remind me before I start telling people what they... All right, prayer tomorrow. Prayer tomorrow on the show. I'm going to do that tomorrow. God, forgive me for going left. Bless me to be more right. And bless this show and the people to get edified by the words that are coming out of my mouth or to get that reality check. In Jesus' name, amen. Also, please stream for 8 hours. It helps me. No, I'm not finished streaming for no 8 hours. I started a nonprofit for youth. Any advice on funding? Donations, I know you do it all yourself, no help. I don't have your kind of funds, just seeking advice. I don't like nonprofits. I can't keep telling y'all the truth. I don't like nonprofits. And the reason I don't like nonprofits is because, man, F them kids, bro. F them kids. Look, that is their parents' responsibility. Do y'all want me to tell you the truth? Yeah. Maybe I should just end this show today and do another show. We could do a makeup show on Saturday because y'all got me telling the honest to God truth and being real. Man, listen, forget them kids. I don't care. That's their parents' responsibility. Nonprofit, helping the children, helping the youth. Why? So we can feel better about ourselves? Man, get them kids up out of here. Victim Olympians. I don't care nothing about them. That's their parents' responsibility. Nonprofit for who? Helping who? What? Why? I don't like your kid no more than you like your kid. Y'all passionate about the kids? I'm the wrong person. I'm the wrong person to ask about a nonprofit. Oh, I believe in capitalism. Hey, go get your bag and then let people donate how they see fit. I don't care nothing about them kids. People be hitting me up all the time. Women be hitting me up. They be sending me messages. I don't know if they just trying to get in good with me or what, but they be like, can you mentor my son? And then they send a picture of them with their son. And I'll be like, delete. Delete. I can't mentor your kid. You asking me to be a makeshift step baby daddy with no box. You're asking me to be a makeshift step baby daddy with no box benefits that go along with it. Listen, I'm gonna skip the super chats. I'm gonna come back to the super chats in a minute. I'm gonna come back to the super chats after quick hits. But what you're asking me to do, ma'am, do y'all want me to be real or y'all want me to be real? What you're asking me to do, ma'am, is to assist and take care of your son and be a father figure, and you ain't get no box. That's what you asking me to do. That's how I see it. My mind works differently. When a woman hits me up or she comes up to me and she says, "Oh, hey, Mr. Daniels, I love your show. Oh, you look different in person. Okay. Can I get a hug?" And I give her a hug. "Oh, can I introduce you to my kid? Listen, his father is in jail, but I was just wondering, can you give him some time? And then I can come along with him." And I'll be thinking to myself, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? This sounds like volunteer work with no box and no benefits that come along with it. That's what it sounds like to me. All right, I'm being a little too honest today. Let me forego the super chats for a minute. We'll come back to the super chats. Somebody said, "Ain't you married?" Yeah, I'm married. So why you want me to take care of your kid? I'm a man, ain't I? Just because I'm married don't mean that I don't see you with your bra out. What, you got your titties out like this? What, you think that just because I'm a man, my eyes don't work? It worked. That's why I gotta have discipline, because you keep coming up to me, giving me a hug, smelling all good, and then I'll be like, "Who was that over there?" "Oh, that's my son." That nigga like 6'4". Where his daddy at? "Oh, I was asking if you can mentor him." I gift him a membership to the Patreon, but that's about all I can do for him. You want me? The one thing you can't say is that I'm not gonna be honest with you. The one thing that you can't say is that I'm not gonna be honest. I see you. I see your big son too. Where is daddy at? I can't help you, ma'am. I can give him a gift to the Patreon. That's about all I can get for him. Tell him to get this work. All right, so let's continue to go on. I got a new improv show that I think I'm gonna be doing soon. Y'all can come and see me in person. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Let's get into the show, because I almost canceled this show today because we crashing out. Y'all done drove me crazy. I said I was gonna start with a prayer. And y'all started me off talking about what. Let me stop. What's up, Carrie? What's up, Carrie? Carrie, they doing it. Carrie, they driving me crazy. Carrie, come on the show tonight, after hours. Let them see you. Get some comfort in. They driving me crazy. All right, man, let's go ahead and get started with the show. I'm going to come back to the super chats and the Cash App shortly, all right? Quick hits, man. Let's get the quick hits. Quick hits is a segment of the show. Whew. We don't necessarily think we got to dedicate an entire segment to, but Sarah, you don't like me today? I'm sorry. I'll be better tomorrow. But we definitely got to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on in these streets. First things first, a 13-year-old girl is sentenced to the maximum for the beating death of Reggie Brown. Check it out.
We do have new information on a major case that we've been following closely in the district for more than a year now. Just a few hours ago, a 13-year-old girl was sentenced to the maximum amount of imprisonment under D.C. law in connection with the murder of Reggie Brown. She is the first of 5 teenage girls being held responsible for beating the 64-year-old to death in an alley in October of last year. Melissa Kim was in the courtroom today where the girl apologized. Melissa, we're also hearing from the Brown family tonight.
They hung up on me. Malda Brown.
What is happening on the show today? Man, this is the Crash Out Show. Let me get some more water over here. Good Jesus, good googly moo. And they put that clip up. Now, I don't always watch all of the clips that we wind up sourcing. I watch like 10 seconds of it. Okay, this is sufficient. This could actually help us justify and substantiate our argument or whatever. Did y'all see that? I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know that was about to happen. I don't know what is happening today. Is it Friday the 13th or something? What is happening? What is going on? Crash out Thursdays, huh? What is going on? Jesus.
Brown was among the family members that had to leave the courtroom as prosecutor Gabrielle Legalio replayed cell phone video taken by the 13-year-old girl, displaying what Judge Kendra Briggs called a celebratory disposition after brutally beating and kicking Reggie Brown the night of October 17, 2023.
I could hear them celebrating after they murdered my brother today, so it puts you in another frame of mind.
Malda is one of Reggie's older sisters. She says she does not accept the apology.
Absolutely not. She didn't give no remorse or no empathy or no sympathy. It saddens me that these young girls could be so brutal and do something so severe.
The girl will face the maximum penalty by D.C. law, a restrictive commitment in a Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services facility until she turns 21 years old.
I'm just grateful that the
So wait. She don't get life? Because see, if that was a little boy that was 13 that basically beat somebody to death, he'd be getting life. I'm skipping this part of the show. I want to go over to the next quick hit. Let me see what else we got on the docket today. Oh, all right. So this is a different story. Remember that I told y'all that I was going to actually keep y'all up to date on what's going on with the kids that was sleeping on the porch in Detroit? This is the latest update on that.
Why were teen boys sleeping outside, and how long have they been there?
Neighbors were concerned, and now community advocates are getting involved. Fox 2's Jessica Dupneck is live with the new details. And what else have you learned at this point, Jessica? It's just heartbreaking.
It really is. We've been tracking this story since the weekend when, as you say, some community members got involved and they started to gain some momentum. Now, we do have an update from Detroit police that the 12 and 15-year-old boy that was sleeping out in the porch while their parents slept inside last night. They went with Detroit police. They were taken to family friends' homes, so they have a warm place to stay, at least for the short term. Detroit police now working with that family along with CPS to see if they can come up with a more long-term solution. But apparently these kids, they've been sleeping out on the porch since July. Like it was routine, we watched this 15-year-old walk down the block onto his porch and settle in for the night. And last Saturday, the same thing.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Yeah. What's up, man? Y'all all right, man?
From under a lump of blankets, wrapped in a coat, the 15-year-old boy pops up, sleeping on the porch at his Westside Detroit home. With the wind chill, it felt like 15 out.
Man, you want to go get something to eat or something, man? Like, there's a lot of people trying to help y'all, bro. The child himself told me that he'd been out there since July.
12 and 14-year-old brothers. The older one told local podcast host Mark DeAndre last Saturday that he's been sleeping on the porch for 5 months. And sometimes his brother does too, while their parents live inside. Neighbors we talked to corroborated.
In July, it was 80, 90 degrees. Now it's 20 degrees. You know what I'm saying?
They be out there at nighttime. Like the other night, I seen them walk up and go on the porch. Like, that's it.
The neighbors and Mark offered the kids food, money, and shelter. They wouldn't take it.
I don't know if they like brainwashed at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because who want to be sleeping on a porch?
We have been trying to get answers all day and night out here from the kids' parents.
Oh yeah, shoes, blankets, toothbrush. This is the craziest thing I've seen.
It's set up like an actual bedroom on the porch.
Oh look, at least they got those. That's nice.
No one ever answered the door Monday. We did some digging. The house is registered to a local pastor at a Baptist church less than a mile from the house.
Oh, God. What is society falling into? What are we talking about?
Leslie Street near Dexter. He's allegedly their dad. Detroit police have been called to the home multiple times, even Saturday when Mark got involved.
I called the police, and the police pulled up real quick, and they told me that there was pretty much nothing that they could do because nothing illegal was going on there.
DPD made meeting with the kids' parents priority, sending officers to the home Monday night where they met with the family for hours. In a statement, they said any evidence of negligence on the part of the parents will be thoroughly investigated and, if appropriate, referred to the Wayne County Prosecutor's office. Neighbors and Mark have been told sleeping outside is some kind of punishment for the kids.
I don't know what these kids did. I don't know what's going on with these pastors in these black churches. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I will say this. I'm gonna say a couple things. Number one, everybody shouldn't have kids. I said this years ago, and people acted like I said something like I said a demon was coming out the door. Oh, you can't tell people that everybody don't deserve to have children. Everybody is not fit to be a parent. Everybody don't deserve to have kids. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people keep looking at the police officers and the authorities. Hey, y'all do something. First of all, I thought y'all wanted to defund the police. Neither here nor there. But number two, the police can only go by the law. That's all they can do. Because you know what happens when they go outside of the law? Then y'all say, no, the police don't deserve immunity. Sue them, take their pants, take all of their money and all of this stuff. So the police is very, very careful with making sure that they go by what is being implemented inside of the law. And so the only thing you can do is enforce the law. They investigate, they pull up as fast as possible. What else can they do? And so it's the parents' responsibility. We don't ever want to hold the parents accountable. Y'all don't ever want to hold them accountable. Y'all don't want to be a part of community, get involved with the community and all of that stuff. And you want the police to do all of the work for you. They only can do what they can do. So it's wild. I don't know what kind of punishment that these kids did to where they be sleeping on the porch. And how these people call themselves pastors. And who going to that church? Anyway, I don't want to see no more of this story. It's too sad. And then last but not least, juveniles have been sentenced to murder over in Ohio for a shooting spree. And even though they asked for forgiveness, a lot of the people are saying, no, they don't deserve no forgiveness.
It took 4 years, but some local families finally have a sense of justice.
2 men will likely spend the rest of their lives in prison for killing 3 people.
Arya Janelle watched as these family members came face to face with their children's killers.
The 2 men sentenced today were juveniles when they committed these crimes back in 2020. 2 other juveniles and a man killed by their actions, creating chaos and destruction for multiple families.
It makes no sense, but anybody.
Jesus Christ. What happened to her teeth?
Multiple families.
It makes no sense.
She got that Dame Dash mouth. She got that dash mouth. Oh Lord, help me, God, help me. This is not one of my best days, obviously. I woke up later than I wanted to because I was working late at night, God, and obviously I'm not fit to be expressing all of my honest to God thoughts today. Lord, bless me to focus on the actual issue at hand, and don't let me get distracted. Lord, rebuke side quests. Rebuke side quests, God. Rebuke me from having side quests when I'm supposed to be talking about this sensitive issue, and I'm over here. Why she don't got her mask on when she talking? Some people had a mask on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your quick hits. I don't know what the hell is going on. Quick hits. That's your quick hits, y'all. Forget the stories. Let's just focus on the next thing. Let's go to the next thing, all right? She said, they don't need no, I can't believe it. No. Y'all not about to trick me out of talking about somebody got the dash mouth. Let me read some of these super chats. Let's see if we can figure it out for the day. We're going to get back on track, y'all. Abe. Shout out to Abe the Hunter. Abe the Hunter says, chat for everything is just a moment in time. It's about what you do next. You must meet God halfway too. Amen. Hey, Anton, what is the ideal trip for mother and son in the States? What is the ideal trip for? I don't know what part of the States you are, and I don't know where you done visited. The ideal trip for a mother and son. Oh. Well, how old is the son? You know what I'm saying? There's so many other details. If the son is young, then take them to a major city. Like, take them to do something educational, something that they never gonna forget. Because usually when people get older, they want to go to Miami, they want to go to the Dominican Republic. Take them to go and see stuff that's actually and first of all, you got to consider the weather. So if you're gonna do something on the West Coast, but do it educational. Like, have fun, but actually have some value in it to see something that's meaningful. You know what I'm saying? If it's cold outside, you got to go to the West Coast or to the South. If it's warm outside, then you can go to the East. I like New York to experience it for the first time. I like DC, going to see the White House and the Treasury and all of that stuff. So I'm always acting like a tourist. I also believe that people need to be tourists in their own cities. So, for example, I like to go to the DIA. The DIA here, the Detroit Institute of Arts, is one of the most phenomenal things that you can do, and it's actually free for residents. So I don't think that you need to spend no money. Just do something locally. Do something locally. Save some money. Look forward to seeing them Lions dominate again tonight. Yeah. Shout out to my dog, Bitcoin Brown. Bless says, Anton, just arriving. People already getting disciplined. Awesome morning chat. Today's going to be a great day. Oh, I'm trying to get on track. Shelby says, I didn't like you at first. See, then a week later, I had my come to Jesus moment. Shout out to my girl, Shelby. I love you. Well Building Journey says, salute, Time Dog. Return to the office is real. I'm working on getting another turnkey property in the 48221. Oh, so you from where I'm from. Shout out to Cash Flow in 7 Mile. Mine is a few blocks west of your old stomping grounds. All right, so you know where I'm from. What in the World TV says, AD, when you said 5 minutes, I was about to go get on my knees and get ready for prayer. You hop back online and say, suck it. Pause. I warned y'all. J Ben says, diet stepdaddy is crazy work. Where that box at? I don't want no box. Just keep your kids. I feel you, AD. Forget them kids. I was a big brother for about a year, and a dusty mom tried to get close. No, sir. She knew it wasn't happening. Got in her feelings when I had to put mom's care over her son. F that. I seen too many guys crash out over that. JC says, Rita wasn't allowed sponsoring for the box anyway. Depress says, the child I will mentor that isn't biologically mine is my nephew. Kate Cooper says, no box to help the kids is wild. I'm not looking for box. I'm just breaking down what the equivalent is and how men. Don't worry about it. This is the greatest show on earth. Men will be men. Shout out to you. You meant to say only. I got you. I would comment on UnitedHealthcare CEO, but it was denied. Oh, I'm about to talk about it right now. So, an intervention 5 months after the fact, we got to do better. Kim One says, Pastor needs to come to the front ASAP. Shout out to my girl Mika says, good morning, AD. Abuse of the kids make me so upset. Yeah, that bothers me. I don't think kids deserve that. She has those summer teeth. Some are here, some are missing. Wait, no, do them quick hits the right way. I can't. I'm broken today. She got an Altima sitting outside too, and in her mouth, missing that front bumper. Mr. AD, and then there are those of us who loved you on day one. Thank you, sis. I love you too. Shout out to my people. P. Rothstein says, what up, Anton? I'll be back in the city tonight working at the Lions game. Money is fantastic, but it's going to be cold, bro. Well, the Lions game is in the inside. I also want to give a shout out to Phil Jackson. Shout out to my dog Phil on Cash App. Just showing love to my guy Phil. Y'all be showing too much love to me. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, bro. Nikki, what up, Nikki? Says, good morning, AD. Keep educating the people. I don't know how educational it's going to be today, though, Nikki. Fit Billionaire says, just finished editing my interview videos. I hope to set a face-to-face with you for at least 10-minute interview. All right, well, send me an email and we'll see what's happening. All right, y'all, let's continue to get into it. Let's get into this UnitedHealthcare thing because there's more details, obviously, now. I'll be reading Super Chats and Cash Apps throughout the show. But this is the latest update on what's going on with the UnitedHealthcare CEO that was basically targeted in New York and Manhattan.
Now on the brazen murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown yesterday morning. The chilling moment was captured on video, which we are freezing. CBS News has learned that the bullets fired had words written on them on the bullet casings. They were found on those shell casings recovered at the scene. Christina Fan joins us now live from the scene with an update on exactly what was said, what was written on those shell casings. Christina?
That's right, Chris. CBS News has just confirmed with law enforcement officials that the words deny, defend, and depose were written on those shell casings recovered right here behind us where the shooting took place. Investigators are now examining whether or not those words point to a motive related to insurance companies' responses to those claims.
Surveillance video captures the brazen targeted attack on UnitedHealthcare CEO.
I'm not going to show the actual shot. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward past that.
Witnesses. One snapped this photo.
I was holding my phone, then I hear the shot. And when I looked at the guy was with a gun, like the silent gun.
Thompson was heading to the Hilton Hotel in Midtown to address investors at a UnitedHealthcare conference. The NYPD is working with authorities in Minnesota, where Thompson is from, to identify any specific threats against him. Police sources say detectives have uncovered rantings directed at the company, but no threats to his personal safety.
Many people passed the suspect, but he appeared to wait for his intended target. Every indication is
Fast forward past that. I don't want to see that. I can't see that.
Targeted attack.
From the Hilton, investigators believe the suspect hopped on a bike and rode to Central Park. Video obtained by CBS News then appears to show him leaving the park on West 85th Street about 15 minutes after the shooting.
What we're looking at is a gunman who was thoughtful and prepared, staked out the scene, began by shooting the person in the back.
Police say the suspect planned carefully, but not perfectly, going to a nearby Starbucks minutes before the shooting. Sources say surveillance images there may have captured enough of his face to run through facial recognition.
The full investigative efforts of the New York City Police Department are well underway, and we will not rest until we identify and apprehend the shooter in this case.
And police sources say investigators are conducting forensic tests on a water bottle and candy bar wrapper that was found at the Starbucks they believe the suspect was at right before the shooting. They also are processing a cell phone that was discarded near the crime scene.
Before I give my thoughts on this, let me see if I can get this from another source, because I always like to have multiple sources. Before I give my little soliloquy or I give my little explanation, because it might be a little bit more controversial. And I'm going to give you a different spin on it than most other people.
Fox News alert.
I'm going to fast forward it past that. I don't want to show it. If y'all want to check that out, y'all can see it yourself.
Investigation for insider trading. Here to discuss, we've got former federal prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Andrew Cherkowski. Andrew, thanks for making the trip out to Long Island. When you watch the video, what does it look like to you?
It looks like somebody who's somebody trained in firearms, somebody who's capable of using it. He looks insensitive to the fact that he's killing somebody. So there's some degree of preparation, a lot of thought, and he was ready to do it. Whether that means he's a trained assassin, like some people are saying, perhaps it's a step short of that he just had practiced a lot with the firearm. But there is definitely a strong motive there. I think that what we see in that video is somebody who is very committed to following through with this crime. And so now there's all sorts of speculation about what that motive could have been, right, and whether that might lead us to actually finding him.
Okay, so that picture right there, I believe, is taken in a nearby Starbucks. And this was before the shooting. And the guy bought a couple of power bars and bought a water and got a cup. And so presumably there would be DNA on that. Obviously, the cops have already hoovered up everything in that Starbucks. But if he is a trained killer, he's probably wearing gloves.
Well, there's the probability that he might be wearing gloves, although we see in the video when he's holding the gun, it looks like he doesn't have that. So are they running that DNA? Are they actually getting something back? Or perhaps that's something in the garbage can that fella kind of was that disappeared. I'm most interested in the bike. He went to a bicycle, city bike, and whether there's tracking software on that to be able to figure out where that bike went. X has...
The cartridges said depose, deny, and defend. Also, another reporter that reported says somewhere along there, it said, we want these executives completely out. I want to show y'all something before we deep dive into this. Before I give my thoughts, I want to show y'all something. Give me a second. Let's see if I can find it. Real quick. I don't know if I can find it. When I went through and I started looking at the comments of everything and that everybody was saying about this man or about this whole situation, I was perplexed because I didn't understand. I come from a space where the initial reaction of somebody losing their life is always first supposed to be, oh my God, prayers up for the family. When I went through and I started seeing all of the reactions and stuff on social media and stuff, I was hearing people basically say and celebrating the assassin. People were, listen, we can go through and probe. I think that it was a hit. I also believe that it was somebody that had a grudge against insurance companies and they were bitter. Could be somebody whose wife or husband or somebody died or uncle or father or something because they got denied or something. Who knows? Who knows? And there's a entire segment that we can dedicate to the crookedness of insurance industries or whatever. But again, we be making an assumption because we don't have enough information to even know who, what, when, where, why, and how. I mean, for all we know, it could be somebody who wrote that on there in order to deter people so that they can make them think it was somebody like that, but it could have really just been a hit. We don't know. We have no clue. But when I went through and I started seeing all of the conversations and the comments from people, what I realized is something that actually helps me to substantiate the way that I'm moving to live my life personally moving forward. And it's that people absolutely have zero compassion. And I mean zero compassion for each other. And they have zero compassion for people that are successful. They have zero compassion for each other. And they have zero compassion for people that are successful. None. By default, the main thing that they start to speculate off of is, what have you done crooked to deserve to be getting shot in the head and the back? Real talk. People are crazy. See, look at this. Said it might be insider trading. It might be this. It might be that. But we don't know yet. And so until we find out what's going on, is it justified for somebody to be waiting outside of a hotel in order to execute somebody else? That's all I'm asking. And what happened to any compassion? You know, I was telling somebody this morning, and I was having a conversation, and I said, listen, let me tell you something. This is the number one reason, and I know y'all don't want to hear this. This is the number one reason why people that have money are silent. It's not that it's old money or people that's used to having stuff. They don't, they don't floss. No, people that have resources, the reason why they're not loud with their resources is because they don't want to be a target. You want an example? All you got to do is look at all of this old oil money that's been running around worldwide. All of the sheiks of Dubai and all of this stuff and the UAE and all of that oil money, man, those people had money for before you and I was even born. They kids grew up in it. You know what they do? Loud. They are loud with their money. They make whole shirts out of gold. People that have resources want to be able to flaunt, enjoy, and showcase and have a good time with their resources. It is the biggest myth of all time from people that don't understand and have not been in a room with a whole lot of people that got resources. They are loud amongst each other. They're silent when it comes to the general public because they don't want to be villainized for their success, regardless of how they got it. Some people get it out the mud, some people don't. It's the same thing with regard to entertainers. It's the same thing with regard to CEOs. It's the same thing with regard to everybody. They got big properties. They got loud money. They private jets and all of that. They just very, very quiet when it comes to presenting themselves to the general public and to you because they don't want to be villainized. And so quiet money has nothing to do with, they just used to it. Quiet money has everything to do with they don't want to get so successful to where they then become the enemy of people that don't even know them and don't know their story, how they got there or whatever. I have never seen a person that wanted to become an uber successful that the general public didn't at some point turn on them. Everybody. You will be villainized for your success, 100%. And so what I seen in the comments of all of these videos was wild. Somebody says, ain't nobody worried about rich people. Boy, you crazy. It's a whole industry about pocket watching out here. It's a whole industry about speculation. Some of the biggest sites that get the most hits are ones where people are speculating about people's net worth. Forbes have made a whole movement and profitable based off of anticipating and estimating somebody's net worth. There is a whole movement based off of trying to figure out how much money somebody got. 100%. People are 100% interested in how much money somebody has. Absolutely. And so people are lying. Absolutely lying. The women want them, the men hate them, and the general public then villainize them because they saying that you got too much. I've seen people say it's no way that people should be billionaires. They should be giving that away. 100%. And so I will tell you that if you wind up becoming successful, and some of y'all that's in here, honestly, I got students, I got people that's a part of the bag chasers, that's millionaires now. And I tell them all the time, listen, if you don't have to, if it doesn't feed into your brand, if it's not a part of what you do to continue to promote people or incentivize them to do the thing that's best for them, if it's possible to continue to run this race and run up a check without being visible or without actually talking about anything that you've been able to accomplish as a result of it, then do so. If you are a public figure, that's a completely different situation. You use that as a method to continue to bring people in. If you are a person that's just absolutely honest and you showcase your lifestyle, even me, I can't talk about certain things. There's even things that I don't even put out unless I put it in the Patreon because I know what's happening. Every day when I jump on this live stream now, all you see is a black t-shirt. I don't showcase my daughter. I don't highlight my wife except for here or there. You can get a peek and stuff like that. Let me show with y'all something. I want to show y'all something real quick. I'll give you an example. I'm going to show you an example. Because I got a completely different take than y'all do. I want to show you something. I got this message yesterday. Don't know who. Don't know where they from. People always asking me, Anton, why we walking around with security and stuff like that? Why you don't go nowhere unless you go with security and all of that? Somebody goes on my website. I don't know if this is their real name or not. Name is Torrin Justin Wilson. Fake phone number, obviously. Don't know if this is their real email. But this is what they say. Suck my D. Burn in hell. F your garbage S. Gonna effing kill your whack a mother effer. Now, am I to take this serious? Am I supposed to send this to the authorities or am I supposed to keep it real? Do I have to now make sure that my daughter and my wife is in a more secure area? Do we need to make sure that we're in a gated community to where you can't access it and now I got a doorman? Oh, you don't believe me? This is what I see. Let me show you. Because see, I'm telling you that you will start to experience people that say things that you have never met in your entire life. Suck my D, burn in hell. I get messages like this all the time. So now I got to reach out to the authorities. Okay, listen, this is the thing that I got. I got to call my friends up in Lansing, call the sheriffs, call the prosecutors, call certain people in order to have it investigated and all of this stuff. I'm telling you that people hate, absolutely hate. Now, I'm no UnitedHealthcare CEO, but at the same time, these are people that are on the internet that you've never met before. We've created a society of monsters, jealous monsters. And this ain't the first time that I done showed y'all stuff like this. I've showed y'all stuff like this all year long, all last year and stuff like that. My wife get messages from hateful women. I hate you. I can't wait till you divorce him. I will never like you unless you divorce. I get messages like that all the time. So that's why I then make sure, or I'm a lot more careful in everything that I do. I should be able to live my life free. I ain't never committed a crime. I ain't got nothing against nobody. I ain't got no beef with nobody, none of that. My daughter should be able to go to school without any kind of problems. She's trained herself based off of the things that she see me communicate to her to not even say certain things. When people ask her questions, when her teachers say, hey, what is your father? And they ask questions, she just be like, he's just a regular guy, this and that, so on and so forth. She don't say nothing. She ain't tripping. She ain't trying to none of that. She don't want none of that. When she go outside, she dress in a hoodie, sweatshirt, she be chilling. Want none of that visibility. All of the nice stuff that she gets, she just keep to herself, and she shows that around certain friends in certain areas because she understands it. And so all I'm saying is that when I looked at the comments, and I'll continue to stay on top of this story because I want to know more about it before I start to give my opinion about what I think makes the most sense. What I have found, though, is looking at the comments and the reactions, it is a class war. It's 100% a class war, Josh. When I see the comments and the reactions, what I realize is that there is a war and a jealous spirit amongst people of the haves and the have-nots. It is a spirit, and it has completely infected this entire country. The whole eat the rich mantra is crazy. And so when I see stuff like that, and Rita will go through it, or my other assistant will go through it and say, hey, Anton, you want to pay attention to this? We need to make sure that we put this on the radar. Go ahead and make this phone call, so on and so forth. This is what we got to do it. So somebody like Baby Lane Stanfield says, if you make yourself a public figure, that's what comes along with it. I understand that, but it doesn't mean that it's right. So now I deserve, and my family deserve, or anybody, forget me. So anybody that's a public figure deserves to be treated like trash because they're a public figure. I understand what come with it. That's why I be having security. That's why I make the investments that I make. That's why I live in a certain buildings that I live in and all of that. But you telling me that we spend more time villainizing a person that became successful and not holding accountable to bad actors? I got you. Got it. And this is the mindset. This is why I'm not trying to convince people. I'm not trying to make sure that people understand me no more. I just make sure that I make the adjustment and then I move accordingly. I don't trust nobody. I'm not putting nothing past people. I'm not going to make an assumption that you just mean me right. I look at everything that comes across and everybody that I run into very closely. I'm not assuming nothing because it only takes one idiot to do the wrong thing. It only takes one idiot to do the wrong thing. Such is life. Anyways, let me continue on. Let me read some of these super chats and we'll move over to the next part of the show. What in the World TV says, did you see online a young man that has a city bike data? It goes to show that any data is knowledge. Also, I have an app idea that's next level. Shout out to What in the World TV. I didn't see that online. Anton, I speculate it's a person angry with them. I speculate that too. Or angry with the industry itself. CEO lost someone money or slept with someone's wife. Nah, I don't believe that. The have-nots hate the haves for having. I hate the have-nots for robbing. High Tolerance says, Trigger Man was extra sloppy, not professional. He had a jammy and should have did the job with a revolver. You all right, High Tolerance? You all right, big dog? I want him to get caught. I don't want him running around being a killer. I don't know, man. Wish I can give more, but I don't have much right now. Just wanted to show my appreciation for your content. Dopest person I've ever super chatted. Shout out to man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold me down. A-Man on one says, good morning, AD. Funny, something happened like that this morning. People wonder why I don't want to come around unless we're like-minded. And that's why you got to change your circle. It'll be people in your own family. Have y'all ever seen Paid in Full? He got set up by people in his own family. Anyways, let's move on with the show. Moving on to the next thing. I want to jump into Joe Biden real quick. I only want to spend 10 minutes on Biden. So Biden pulled up to Africa. Right after he pardoned his son, he took a pilgrimage to Africa, just like Umar Johnson. But he's getting a lot of bad press over in Africa. So recently he announced that he's giving Africa $1 billion. With a B. People in North Carolina are suffering. Right here in America, we got a homelessness crisis. But Biden has committed to continuing to enrich world leaders that we know will never filter down into the people of Africa. And we suffering right here in America with a budget deficit. But Biden made an announcement that he was giving $1 billion in Africa. But then he went on a tour with the president of Angola.
There are fresh concerns for US President Joe Biden today after he was captured looking confused and needing assistance with basic direction during his visit to Angola. The president of Angola was forced to direct Joe Biden whilst walking and then seemed to take his arm to stop him from tripping up a step.
I have a hard time believing that we should have somebody in the presidential office that has to be babysit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have a hard time believing that it makes sense to babysit somebody that has to be basically cared for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Honest to goodness.
This commentator said, WTF, why is Joe Biden being manhandled like a child by the president of Angola? This is beyond embarrassing. This commentator agreed, saying because he's totally and completely spent. He's not even a puppet anymore. He's a shell, a husk, basically a living zombie. And Biden's confusion was only the cherry on top of what turned out to be a very controversial visit to Angola. The president was slammed after announcing a massive $1 billion funding support package for displaced Africans following natural disasters.
You know, that's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. And today, I'm announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes by historic droughts and food insecurity. We know African leaders and citizens are seeking more than just aid. You seek investment. So the United States is expanding our relationship all across Africa.
So Biden then goes on to say that we're fully committed and we're all in on Africa. Now, I thought that China had already taken over Africa a long time ago and making sure that they invest and gave out free money so that they can take their land from under them and then do what they wanted to do with it. There's a lot of Chinese people. A lot of y'all need to really brush up on your international relations so you can better understand what's happening throughout the world. But there is a lot of investment that has already been happening for decades when it comes to infrastructure, giving out money, loans, the whole 9 yards. And the African leaders have been bought and paid for a long time ago. Before we get into Sleepy Joe, let me just say this. For some reason, I see people all the time, and I've thought about it, and I've even considered going to visit different places in Africa, and seeing how it is and all of that. For a long time, people keep painting this picture like Africa is an oasis. And I'm sure there are parts of Africa that's absolutely awesome. I know that there's people that's going to live back there so that, the cost of living is lower and all of that. And we can't always go by Hotel Rwanda movies with Don Cheadle and everything. But in my research, personally, and I'm always open to somebody giving me a little bit more insight, Africa is one of the, and I know it's a huge place, but a lot of these countries over there are some of the most corrupt places on the face of the earth. Some of the most corrupt places on the face of the earth. They are so far removed from anything resembling a government that is in control of what's going on with its people, and it is one of the most corrupt places on the face of the earth. Real talk. Straight up. Oh, Anton, you shouldn't say that. No, I said in my research, that's what I found. That's what I found. And again, I don't believe that that's everything and everywhere. This $1 billion that Biden is saying that he's giving over there to Africa, do you think that I think that that's ever going to go to the people? Do you think that I think that it's ever going to go to the people? I was looking at, for some reason, my feed on a lot of these social media platforms have been presenting me with people that are talking about their experiences visiting certain places and moving overseas. And, a lot of them is saying, oh man, you know what? I made a mistake. I thought that I was going to leave the United States of America because of what happened in the election. And I regret it because it's hard over here. I can't even buy a car. They don't respect us over here and all of this stuff. And I was listening to one woman and she was talking about how corrupt it is. I believe it was Nigeria. She was detailing how you need to protect yourself even going through the airport and how you have to pay certain people to not even go through your bags. How you have to be careful because anybody that offers you help or a ride is either looking to kidnap you or finesse you out of a bag. That all of the different ways and the things that you can do to get finesse is this and this and this and this. So you got to do this. You got to make sure you keep a 20 here. You got to do this. You got to pay this person. And if they grab your bag and all of this, I said, man, ain't nobody about to be dealing with all of that. Ain't nobody about to be dealing with all of that. But once I got through all of this, then I was partying. What? That when you go through the airport, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go all do this. I said, man, ain't nobody about to do all of that. You think I'm about to do that just to go and visit your mother? My motherland is right here in the United States of America. Born and raised, Detroit, Michigan. Mother from Detroit, Michigan. Father is from Dawson, Georgia. His father is from Dawson, Georgia. Came up here to get a job at man, I'm not about to go there. I don't know y'all. I'll go and visit if it becomes a safe haven and a destination place to visit if y'all make it more tourist friendly. But just to be going over there, going over there and possibly get finessed or lose my life or get the hell out of here. I'm not about to do that. I am the Americano. Meanwhile, Biden was over there in a meeting with the Angola president trying to figure out how he can keep his eyes open. Look at him.
President of the United States of America, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, my neighbor, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, His Excellency.
I remember when I was, before we look at Joe, hold on.
Felix Anton Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the high-level dignitaries around the table, distinguished guests. On behalf of Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, I am honored to join this high-level meeting on the Lobito Corridor, which is a regional interconnection project of immense significance, not just to Angola.
You got the, either you got the itis,
but to the broader
or it's time to go and hang it up and get your quilt. Look at this dude. Look at Biden. Look at Biden. Look how embarrassing this is. Let me tell you something. While we look at Biden sleep, I remember when I visited Jamaica, right? I visited Jamaica and Ochos Rios. You know what's so funny? When people ask me the different places that I've been to outside of the country, while we look at Joe sleep, I always forget that I visited Jamaica and Ochos Rios, right? Because I've been to, obviously, Tokyo. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to Frankfurt, Germany. I've been to Amsterdam. I've also been to, what's the one I just came from? Bucharest, Romania. And I forget that I've been to Jamaica and Ochos Rios, right? But when we went to Jamaica and Ochos Rios, this is real time. This is not pause. This is him in a deep slumber. See, let me show you.
Asia and the Far East.
See?
The Tanzania-Zambia Railway.
All right. So while Joe tried to figure out how he can keep his eyes open, when I went to Jamaica and Ochos Rios, we didn't stay like on a resort or whatever like that. We stayed and we visited and we rode around and we got people to take us around to see how people were really living. So we were immersed in the culture. It was messed up, bro. Honest to God, it was messed up. I remember going down the street and see people basically living in caves on the side of the road. That they had little carve-outs inside of the mountains or the caves that we would be driving down on the road. It got so sketchy at one point where we was going back and forth. It got so sketchy at one point that I started being like, hey, man, because see, if you in the United States of America, a lot of times, even if you in a hood, it's like, you know what? My GPS work, I can get back, I can go, you know what I'm saying? We still in America at the end of the day. No matter what hood you in and where you from, you could figure it out and you can get back in some way, shape, or form because you still in America. I can always catch a flight. Being out of the country and getting caught up in the ghetto and stuff, that junk was wild. And I always go, look at Joe. And I always try to figure out what's going on and what's happening and what's the real culture is. A lot of people go to these places and they only be on the resorts. Look at Joe. Look at Joe. Look at Joe. But I had to go and see what was really happening. It was rough. It was really, really rough. And so I got a lot of respect for the people that's outside of the country trying to survive. But let me tell you something. As Joe sleeps, and even though we got a sleepy president, even though we got a president that just pardoned, even though he goes to sleep right after he pardoned his son, hanging out in Angola,
bilateral and regional commitments.
Even though we got a sleepy president,
allow me to reiterate,
I'm always 100% excited and happy to get back to the United States of the Americas, no matter how messed up this country is. I always am happy to get back to the United States of America. Look at Joe. Look at Joe.
Through such partnerships and innovations that Africa's agenda.
Yes, I do remember the kids that was dancing in the street for money. Whew. I do remember the kids that was dancing in the street for money. They was doing anything to get them American dollars. I said, man, you know what? It's time to go home. It is time to go home. Jamaica, you've been awesome. Otros Rios, God bless you. God bless you. It's kids in Detroit that I got to help. I can't keep on giving y'all all of my dancing dollars. Y'all not going to keep on water waving in front of me. Because, listen, it's time to go home. It is time to go. Look, Joe is sleeping. I want to go to sleep.
2063 will be realized. I thank you.
We're going to look at him till he wake up again. There he goes. All right. So anyways, he need an upper. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. What up to the Finn account says, when I see an expensive car, huge houses, I only see debt. Millionaires drive pickup trucks and buy used. I hate to break it to you, the Fit accountant, but you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Let me tell you something. There is some people out here that is getting it. And it's a lot of them. They just quiet around y'all. I am trying to tell you that this is one of the biggest myths that y'all have ever heard in your entire life. This is a narrative that's being spoken out about from people, and I'm telling you that you're wrong. I got friends that own all kind of stuff. Gas stations, jewelry stores, rental car companies. They got huge real estate investments or whatever like that. They drive that around. Y'all, when we get to the crib or when we go out and party, they got a bevy of Rolexes and all of the APs and all of the Pateks. And they got the big, and they wife that's hidden down in that driveway, she drive a Maybach truck. How y'all y'all have no clue. I'm trying to tell you. All right. Y'all got it. All right. No, they only, and it's so funny. You know what the funniest part about that conversation is a lot of times? You know what the funniest part is? Because they make all people that wind up having resources to be a monolith. That's like saying all black people do this, or all white people do this, or all Mexican people do this, or all Arabic people do this. Rich people are not a monolith. Some of them is chill because a lot of their wealth, listen, it's a lot of people that's millionaires, but they not liquid. And so you can have somebody, for example, that has a house that, for example, the house may be worth $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, and then they got a 401k that got $200,000 or $300,000 in it, and then they got a savings account that got $200,000 or $300,000, and they've been working their whole life, right? And then they got a couple cars and a couple heirlooms and stuff like that. So technically, that person is a millionaire, but they cannot afford to do the same things as this type of millionaire that is generating a lot of revenue and is liquid. And so people that have resources are not a monolith. There's different people that live different lifestyles that make an egregious amount of money. There's other people that make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, and all of their stuff is tied in the resources so that they can make sure that they have a good retirement. There's other people that's gaudy. It's other people that's just a little bit more chill. It's people that live all kind of lifestyles. You cannot put people in a box and say that all these type of people or all this old people or all these type of people, it's people that have more visible jobs. It's people that don't have visible jobs. They are not a monolith. They live all kind of lives. And so just because you may be a millionaire on paper does not necessarily mean that that's a reflection of what your life is. Somebody said Anton been to a Diddy party or two. Unless you call your mama Diddy. Unless you calling your mama Diddy. I know some mamas. Did your mama nickname herself Diddy? I've been to a lot of parties. Maybe not necessarily the one that owned Bad Boy Records, but unless you're calling your mama Diddy. I've been to your mama's house. I diddled with her. I might be your daddy. I might be your kid's daddy. Or at least she was calling me daddy. Let me stop. Let me read some more super chat. I don't know what's happening to me today. Usually I just let people rock out, but sometimes I like to entertain and go back and forth with the chat. Sometimes I like to entertain and go back and forth with the chat. It wasn't baby oil though. I'm old school. KY. They got this new thing. It's like the hot and cold. They give you the hot and cold sensation. She said, "Oh, let me be quiet. Let me stop. Don't worry about it. We good. We good." Shout out to you, man. Tell your mama I said what up though. Shout out to the Fit Accountant. I love you, baby girl. How do I join the millionaires, and how can I get a one-on-one with you? Well, I'm not currently doing coaching calls right now. However, you can tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, and I also got a Discord. Tay, what up? Tay says, do your family flip on you because you're a public figure? No, they don't flip on me. They don't flip on me. They just act like they just treat me normal. Unless we start talking about politics, we just regular. Well, Anton, you're an adult once and a kid twice. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. $750 for hurricane victims in the U.S. and $1 billion for Africa that's going to disappear due to corruption. Facts. There's a reason Angola prison in L.A. Is named after Angola, Africa. Shout out to Don Drell says, sleeping on the mission. That's wild. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, embarrassing all of America. Dang. Mr. Lot goes on to say, just stopping through, been busy, but the bag has been crazy. Salute. Shout out to Mr. Lot. I love you, big dog. You know you my guy. How that new place down in the city is treating me. What in the World TV says, a hidden gem is Malta. Went there as a vet, said to myself, then I will go back there once I got out, taking that trip next year. Shout out to y'all. I've never really looked at that. He got money to burn, but globally, but we Easter seal commercials. He's not leaving nothing but more debt and middle finger deliberately. Shout out to Gerald. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold me down, and thank you to everybody that continue to support the platform. Let's move over into the next thing. I don't want to belabor a point. Eric Adams. Let's spend 10 minutes on Eric Adams. Eric Adams is really going hard. No Diddy. Shout out to homie in the chat. Eric Adams is super duper going bananas when it comes to holding Trump down. Now, yesterday we spoke on Eric Adams saying, or having a comment about working with Tom Homan and Trump with the deportation and getting rid of illegal criminals inside of New York City. Well, today, Eric Adams doubled down and he spoke on the Hunter Biden situation as far as pardoning his son. Check it out.
What you were talking about, the Hunter Biden. Out of all of this, there's almost a level of irony to this all. I just want to bring out something. I'm going to read the front page of the New York Times.
Eric Adams is funny to me because he had already had that newspaper geared up because I'm guessing that he anticipated that they was going to ask him that question. So he was on his way into the office that day and he said, you know what? I see this paper on the New York Times at this newsstand. Let me grab this just in case these reporters ask me this question about Hunter Biden getting pardoned by Joe Biden and what the irony of that hypocrisy looks like.
Okay. Let me find that sentence. President Biden and President-elect Donald Trump now agree on one thing. The Biden Justice Department has been politicized. Does that sound familiar?
Eric is doubling down. Eric is mad. He is so angry. Biden and did them dirty. They left them out to dry. I've been paying attention. I've been covering it for a long time. They left them out to dry. They did them dirty. He said, I'm going to take y'all migrants. I'm going to be a sanctuary city. I'm going to support y'all. And then the minute that he started to question him, or he didn't get no additional monies from the federal government because they couldn't pass nothing else in Congress, and he started to question, he said, listen, man, I don't know what's going on, but what's happening with this migrant crisis, I'm starting to have second thoughts. They put that case on him. That Department of Justice that came knocking at Eric's door, everybody started getting raided. He went full-fledged Republican. He not going to officially say it. He went full-fledged Republican. He did just like most other, just like all of the rest of the black people. Just like all of the rest of my African Americans. You know what they do? Let me tell you what they do. This is what happened during the election. The exit polls and the data and the statistics says that the majority of black people, over 91% of black women, over 78% of black men, voted for Kamala Harris. But every time that I ask somebody now that the election is over and we got Trump in office, and it's the popular thing, because it was very unpopular to be a Trump supporter prior to the election and all of the years leading up to it. When I go out in public now, or when I have a conversation on a panel, or I start talking to people, all of a sudden all black people are conservative. I said, where they do that at? When did y'all leave the Democratic Party? But you know what they are? Most of them, they bandwagon fans. They bandwagon. They the type of people that switch the team that they like when they team start losing, and they all of a sudden became Golden State Warrior fans, but they not Golden State Warrior fans no more. They Celtics fans, because Celtics, they won a title last year. They won a title last year. All of a sudden, we got all of these Detroit Lions fans all over the country. I see more reaction videos for Detroit. I'm traditionally a Dallas Cowboys fan reacting to the Lions surge. Oh, man, you know what? I always thought that Jared Goff was good. I always loved Dan Campbell. All of a sudden, you got all of these people that just so happen, I always wished that the Lions was good. You wasn't there when they was on 16. Now, you know what? Because they just got a different culture. I seen it coming. And that's what we do in politics. That's what we do in politics. No. I don't like that. I don't like it when people are chameleons, because at least tell me that you switch sides, because then I'll know that you a chameleon, because I don't know what you're going to do. That's the same. It happens in content creation. There was plenty of people y'all remember, for those of y'all that's OG Anton Daniels supporters and has always been rocking with me, that's my friends. Hey, remember a couple years ago when everybody turned on me because I wouldn't support and run in the Victim Olympics, and I kept holding black people accountable for running in the Victim Olympics, and they said that I was anti-black. Then all of a sudden I became a tether. Then all of a sudden he wasn't born here. I think he say that because his parents must be Nigerian. Oh man, I can't believe it. He's supporting that white girl over there. I said, if y'all don't like her, that's up to y'all, but she ain't never did nothing to me, so I'm not about to throw her under the bus. I remember. Oh, I don't forget. All of the people that was supposedly be my friends on the internet, not in real life. All of the people that was supposedly my friends, they switched up, because you know what the popular thing to do at that time was? Was to be pro-black and to be anti-white. Now, guess what? I get phone call after phone call. And I told y'all, I said that what was his name? I'm going to say names, because you know me, I'm a little messy today. It's Messy Thursday. I remember I said, you know what? What was his name? Garvey or something like that. The dude that was rocking with Pearl. And then he switched up on her in order to be able to get his own platform off. And he got 100,000 views on the switch up video. Where he at? We never heard from him again. I said it. I said, oh, he a front runner. He getting all of the views now. Y'all all supporting him now, but we never going to hear from this guy again. We're never going to hear from him again, because he was nothing before he got with her. And then all of a sudden y'all acting like she robbed him. Okay, well, let's see what he get when he leaves. Oh, Anton, you being messy. Now, no. Nope. That's what happened. Now I see these same people reacting to my videos. Yeah, man. No. Don't love me now. Hate me the same way that you hated me when you felt some type of way about it. Anton is going down. He's going to lose all of this. Lose what support? You lose what support? These people is bandwagoners. They flip-flop depending on whatever it is that's popular at the time. And when it goes out of style, they going to go out of style and they going to disappear because that's just the way that things go. And I'm going to still be here, still cooking up, still running it up, and still taking care of business. So I don't want to be friends now. Oh, man, we need to have a reunion. Reunion what? Reunion what? I don't want to stream with you. I remember when I reached out to some people and I was like, hey, man, yeah, look, we need to come together and fix the situation. What you think that you going to use? Use what? You broke. You dusty. I thought that it would be a good look for you. You know what? I don't even like you no more. I don't want to kick it no more. I got some new friends. They call it Carrie, Quentin, Slimmy, Mika, Q, Azriel, Sister. You know what I'm saying? K Cooper, your car. I got real friends. Don't worry about it. We cool. We good. We chilling.
Rest my case.
I'd love to expand on that. You said in the Wall Street Journal the other day that you do believe that you were targeted because of your speaking up about migrants.
That's his name, Sarah Garvey. That's his name, Sarah. Anton, you're wrong about him. All right, well, you know what? I'm not going to forget. I'm going to remind you in a year. I'm going to remind you in about a year and a half. We're going to come back and visit this conversation, okay? I know it died down, but I didn't forget. I got a whole list. Right here. I got a whole list of them right in my notes of everything that everybody predicted. I keep it. I got a whole list of things right here. It's in my to-do list. I got a to-do list right here. I got a whole list of it. A whole list of to-dos that I got to address. All of these right here, I got a whole list of to-dos. I got a lot of them. I didn't forget. I revisit it once a month. I go and I say, okay, so let me check on this person, and this person to make sure that I wasn't wrong on it, because I got a 6-month window that I'm going to revisit that conversation and bring that up to the general public.
I guess I want to ask, why do you think you were targeted? I believe that the Southern District has said that this investigation into your campaign began before you were mayor. It began in 2021, I believe they said. So, what would they be targeting? Or were they just chasing a lead and found something?
Listen, in all my life, I never had to have a level of discipline that I have right now. Nothing is more harmful and hurtful to have leaks come out, the assault on your character, and you have to sit back.
Somebody said, how far that list stretches back? About 25 years. The only time that I delete somebody off the list is if they expire. That's it. Because let the dead bury the dead. That's what the Bible say. And I go and check them. Okay, all right, we're going to remove that off the list so we don't have to check on them no more. I go and check, keep some tabs on them. Hey, what they got going on Facebook? They still dusty? Yeah, okay, I like that.
There was this photo of Muhammad Ali when he was like, had the arrows in him. He was like that. Do you know how much I want to respond to this stuff? I just want to respond to all of this that has unfolded for the last couple of months. And every day before I do off topics, my lawyer said, don't you do it. Because, I'm just a fighter. I believe in fighting for my rights. And this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, of the onslaught of this. And I have to remain silent. And I can't answer and defend myself. That's the hardest thing.
You need to make a list.
But life is kind. There's going to be an opportunity one day to really dig into all that has unfolded. But you cannot ignore the fact, because I know I read a little fast. President Biden
he petty.
and President-elect Donald Trump now agree on one thing. The Biden Justice Department has been politicized. Now,
Eric is wishing for he was wishing for the Democratic Party downfall way before Kamala Harris left office. He is waiting for the downfall, and every single time that the Democratic Party failed, because he said they did him dirty. He felt like they did him dirty and they targeted him. He need to make a list. Listen, the list is not a grudge list. That's the thing that people need to understand. The list is not a list for grudges. I don't want y'all to get that confused. All right? My list is a list for motivational purposes only. Y'all want me to read y'all some of the names on here? There's 25 years worth of names on here. Some of these people y'all don't know, some people y'all do know. It's for motivational purposes only. Some people on this list, I'll tell you this, some people on this list don't know that they're on the list. And it's just to remind myself sometimes because, for example, Q and Rita, a lot of times they say, Anton, you so forgiving. You always giving people grace. And then they come back and they come back to bite you. I say, yeah, that's true. I said, but I got a list though. I said, well, what is the list for? It's to remind me so that when some people come back or they come around me, it's to remind me not to be so weak, not to be so easily finessed. I can get finessed too. It's to not be so weak. It's to not get easily finessed. It's to remind me of what this person's intention is, and it's to question what the intention is going forward. Is it possible to do business again? Absolutely. 100%. Can you forgive? 1,000%. But I'm not going to forget about how things play out, and it's for motivational purposes. So, some of the things that's propelled me to be successful is some of the quotes that I have that has been documented. I screenshot some stuff that people say, and I say, okay, cool. Absolutely, 100%. I wish I could say some of these names and the reasons why. I wish I could. I really could. But if I said it publicly, then y'all would know that they're on the list. Some people are so insignificant, they never make the list. But it has to be something that I feel like was dedicated to trying to do something against me negatively. And I remember everything. And we may be cool. And I might see you and I'm, what up? Because if I, listen, I'll give y'all this. If I don't really care, then you'll hear me say something about it. Like, if I think that you just a fool or you silly or you dumb or whatever like that, then you'll see me mention it and I'll say stuff about it or whatever like that. But I've always believed that if somebody was truly somebody that you don't like, then that's not something that you ever mention. Because why would I ever want to alert you to the fact that I don't like you? If I say publicly that I don't like you, then it's probably just for content. But if I never say nothing about you or if I never respond to you, you're probably on the list. And it don't mean that my list mean anything. Like, it's me. It's for me. But, Anton, how many names is on the list? I don't know. I don't have them numbered. There's a lot, though. Oh, I got teachers on this list. I got principals on this list. I have former coworkers that told me certain things on this list. I got a dude on this list. And that's why I say there's people on here that y'all don't know and there's people that y'all do know. I have people on this list that I worked with that told me that I was dumb and I was going to be stupid for doing certain things that I'm successful at today because I needed them to motivate me. So it's not that they're an enemy, and that's where I think that y'all need to differentiate. It's multiple different lists. It's not that they're an enemy, is that I want to remember what you told me so that I can go back and check on you to see if you're a reflection of anything worth talking about, or if I've just bust through and exceeded all of those expectations for the things that you said that I wasn't going to do. There were people, listen, I remember when I shared some stuff, I was in the plant and we was in the shipping yard because I would jump around to different places throughout the time that I was in the plant. I was working at the steel mill and we was at the shipping yard, right? And so we was at the point where it come out of the pickling line. And then once the coils, they cooled down, we put them on a truck and then we ship them out to wherever it is that they go to do, or if they're going over to get finished in another place. And we were sitting inside of the booth because it's the crane operators and then it's us. And we went out and we would make sure that it was written out and we would mark up the coils that needed to be picked so that you wouldn't ship the wrong coil to the wrong place or whatever. And we were sitting in the booth and it was everybody that was in there. And I was talking about something that I wanted to accomplish and that I was going to go on and you know, be this person or whatever and all of this and what we was going to be driving or whatever. And they was cracking up. They said, you're going to be here just like the rest of us and you ain't going to do nothing. And that bothered me. And I didn't say it to them and I didn't show it. It probably was on my face, but it bothered me. It bothered me to my core. It bothered me to my core because it was like, how dare you sit here and doubt me? So occasionally I check on them and I check on them through a person that knowing them. I say, hey man, how are they doing? And I don't say, hey, what they doing? I say, how they doing, man? How they doing? Oh man, you know, he got laid off and you know, this person got laid off or this person, he on probation and all of that. And I say, oh yeah. You want me to tell him you said what up? No, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing to him. I check on him next year. Oh, this person is on, or now we're gonna go over to the next part of the show. Or I run into him. I run into him in the streets. I don't say, yeah, I know they watching. I know you tuned into the Millionaire Morning Show. What's going on? Shout out to everybody that was in the shipping yard at Ford Steel / Rouge Steel right before it switched over to being Severstal. Shout out to all of my friends. Shout out to the crane operators. Shout out to... Since we gonna be petty, we might as well be petty. Shout out to the checkers. Shout out to all of those people, man. Shout out to y'all. I remember when I lost my job, it was a lot of chatter going on. Shout out to everybody, man. I love y'all. I think that y'all are phenomenal. You know, God bless you. I hope that your relationships are staying strong. I know y'all went through a lot of changes as far as local, especially Local 600. I know y'all went through a lot of company changes. There was some layoffs over there, especially to the people that had just got hired in. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Local 600. Anyways, and shout out to J Love. You know who you are. That was the nickname. I don't want to say your shout out to J Love. Remember when you said that? I got to stop being petty. Antonio, this is the petty show today. Salute to you, big bro. Shout out to Antonio. I love you. What in the World TV says, I call him Two-Face. Hey, shout out to the people that, let me say this. Shout out to the people that when I got married in 2004, they said that we wouldn't last. Because I got married at the same time as another person. They got married a month after me. And you said out of your mouth that within 5 years it would be completely over. Because you divorced. And it's another man that's taking care of your kids, dog. It's another man that's taking care of your kids. How that feel? And it's another man that be hanging on to your ex-wife, dog. You had so much to say. So much to say. Ah. I'm never crossing you off my list. Ever. Ever crossing you off my list. And it's funny because your girl chose you over you know what the funniest part about this? And I'm going to be honest to God truthful. This is Petty Thursdays. We're going to get to the next part of the show. I'm going to be 100% honest to God truthful. This person, your girl who wound up being your wife at the time, chose you over a dude that wound up going to the NBA. And not only did he go to the NBA, he also is still in the league as a coach. And I'm not going to say no names. Your girl chose you over a dude that wound up going to the NBA. And he's still in the NBA today as a coach. And he wound up becoming great. And he's a good dude. And you had something to say to me? And me and him is cool. That is the honest to God on my father's grave truth.
Good afternoon.
Hey, I'm on the live stream.
Yeah.
Hey, no names, no none of that. Remember when this girl chose this guy that she chose this one guy over the other guy that wound up going into the NBA, and we told her not to?
I feel like we talked about this recently. I don't think we told her. I think you told her because I didn't know nothing about that because I was too young. But I do remember all of that. Is this person
What is the guy doing now? No, the guy that she chose. What is he doing now?
If we're talking about the same person, they're not even together no more.
Well, of course they're not together no more. I'm wondering what he do for a living though.
I think he like security for Oakland County.
He a security guard?
Oakland County Court. I think he is because he's trying to be like a police officer because he be trying to drive them Impalas, some old police cars and stuff. But I think he's just a security guard for the court. I think. I don't know.
What did he do with my car?
Oh, Jesus. I'm not talking to you.
What did he do with my car?
I don't remember. All I know is it was messed up. It was painted ugly. Didn't he paint it wrong or something? Painted stupid by Mako? Like a cheap paint job?
Yeah, I never got over that, but we cool.
Not 20 cars later.
All right, I'm out. I got to call you back.
Bye.
I remember what you did to my car, dog. I remember what you did to my car. You had a lot to say. All right, let me stop. Somebody said, what is the point of this? Because it's Thursday. I don't know. It is an interesting day today. It's Thursday. It's just Thursday. So shout out to all of the security guards. Shout out to everybody that's running it up. Let me continue on with the show. I've seen some things in my life. He said, you do right by me. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lot. Magnetar, we got to get through the show. Magnetar says, forgiveness is not reconciliation, Bills versus the Lions, December 15th. Let's go Bills. Now, the Bills are going to lose that game. Anton, I have a list too. It's titled, Thank You for It All. Take care. If you forget about your past, you lose your strength. Shadow Dragon TV says, wellness check. How you feeling? I feel incredible. Shadow Dragon TV. Don't tell us dude's wife had buyer's remorse. Another case of women choosing the wrong man. Oh, y'all gonna get mad at Molly now. I seen Molly in the chat. Molly says, see, that's why you never choose now. Y'all gonna be mad at Molly because y'all don't like what Molly said on Monday Night Show. So now y'all gonna feel some type of way. Let's continue on with the show. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all naming all of these names. I don't even see that. I don't see none of that. It said, take the list. Don't take my list. We got to move on with the show. All right, so what do we do? Eric Adams, The View. Let's spend 10 minutes talking about this because I thought that this was pretty incredible. Charlamagne pulled up on The View. And y'all be killing me with all of the speculation. Ain't none of y'all right. Charlamagne pulled up on The View, and he says he disagreed vehemently with Whoopi Goldberg. Let's get into it.
Charlamagne the God has been a vocal force in the media throughout the 2024 presidential race, and he's joining us now at the table. Please welcome back the author of the book, Get Honest or Die Lying, Charlamagne the God.
Thank you for having me back.
Okay, so my question is, after the election, you said that you were disappointed but optimistic. How are you feeling right now?
I feel the same way because, I mean, what's the other option?
Right.
You know, I'm a country boy from Moncks Corner, South Carolina, raised on a dirt road. So, you know, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness, my grandmother was a Baptist. So I still believe in this higher power called God.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't believe in God when, you know, things go your way and not believe in God when things don't go your way. So at a time like this, you just got to remember your serenity prayer, which is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Because you can't change nothing.
I love that. Yeah.
How come when people lose, they always say, or when people have a bad time, or whenever they don't go their way, they always say, but God is still on the throne. Or maybe you was on the wrong side.
Wisdom to know the difference, right?
I mean, we can't change anything.
Can't.
I mean, you know.
Not yet.
Well, 4 years from now, I guess.
Or two. You never know. But let me ask you this. Trump's campaign ads, for some, they're saying they were very effective. And in one in particular ad, he used a clip of you from the Breakfast Club saying, quote, Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. You say that line was taken out of context. I know it was. But it went on to become one of his most effective campaign ads. I'm also featured in one of his campaign ads.
You might have been 1 and 2.
Yeah. I was. He texted me and let me know that.
Context.
No. No, it wasn't. But what were you actually saying in the clip? And can you please explain that? And how does it make you feel that the campaign used you like that?
Well, it's never good to be taken out of context, but I was explaining to my listeners how effective I thought the actual ad was. Like, you know, the ad was effective before I was in it. I was just sitting at home watching football, and I saw it, and I was like, whoa. And so I knew the immediate reaction was going to be, you know, people are going to say, hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that. So I was explaining that to my listeners. So, I mean, yeah, it never feels good to be taken out of context, but what I didn't like...
He tried to sue. He tried to make a big stink about it and get Trump to remove him from the ad, but Trump was like, nah, we not removing you out of anything. We're going to keep you in the ad.
Most was that they didn't do anything to combat it.
Right.
I would have ran the same ad and just said, Donald Trump, you know, what is it? Donald Trump supports... What was it?
He was the one that was supporting
Yes, Donald Trump supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. I would have ran the same ad because it was legislation under him as well. And you know what else I would have did if I was our campaign? Since Donald Trump used me, I would have used Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said Donald Trump was a threat to democracy. Joe Rogan said he thought Donald Trump was, I think, unhinged was the quote.
Right.
You got to mix it up. You got to get dirty with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to muddy the waters a little bit, cause confusion.
They spent all of their time and all of their dollars trying to cause confusion. Their entire campaign didn't even have anything to do with themselves. Their entire campaign had everything to do with being anti-Trump. It wouldn't have worked. All they kept doing and all they kept giving as talking points is talk about Project 2025, talk about how he's a threat to democracy, talk about this, talk about that. None of that actually worked. It wouldn't have made no difference because Trump actually pulled up to Joe Rogan, but Kamala didn't. Trump would actually go out and address the very things that people were accusing him of, and Kamala dodged. So none of that would have worked. It wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever because people actually was able to see people for who they are and not what they projected themselves to be.
Let me ask you something that's going around right now. A lot of this conversation about President Biden getting criticized from both sides of the aisle for pardoning his son Hunter after repeatedly saying he would never do it. And a lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, et cetera, as if the other side doesn't do it. But what's your reaction to it?
I mean, I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he...
Woo! See, this is not the thing that they was expecting. The View regularly has people on that agrees with their talking point so that they can then make themselves feel better. But they were not expecting for him to say that. And in all of this, it just shows that they didn't do their research. Either the producers didn't do their research or the hosts on The View didn't do their research. But either way, somebody missed the boat. Because if they'd have done their research, they would know that, and I got to give Charlamagne a little bit of credit here because I actually disagree with him on a lot of things. If they'd have done their research, they would have known that Charlamagne does not like Biden. He's a staunch Democrat. He is a cape for Kamala Harris. He will never say anything that Kamala Harris has done wrong without at some point trying to make up for it. But he has never, and he has been consistent with this, he has always been a Biden hater. Not even a hater. I can't even say a hater, but he has always held Biden accountable. He has never, ever rolled with Biden. Ever. That has never been his thing. And so when they asked him his question, I don't think that they knew what they was getting themselves into because then if you don't necessarily care for somebody, but you're still a part of their party, you're going to be honest about them and you're going to hold them accountable. And so now this is one of the rare moments where Charlamagne is actually telling you the honest to God truth because honestly, I believe most of these people are Republicans deep down in their soul anyway. But this is one of the rare moments where you're going to get something where he tells you the truth because he's not trying to grandstand or make other people feel good about his pick, or he's not caping for Kamala Harris. He doesn't like Joe Biden. He's even on record regularly saying the only reason that he voted for Joe Biden is because Kamala Harris was a part of the campaign. Now, I thought that was a dumb reason, but it does show consistency from him. And so when he's saying, listen, it's hypocritical for them to say that they ran all of this stuff, they stood on business, they said that Trump was a bad guy for pardoning and all of this other type of stuff, and Biden is hypocritical because not only did he lie, but he didn't have to lie. He could have just said that I don't want to answer the question at all, but he wanted the cape and he thought that they was going to win, and so he thought that that was going to make Trump seem like a worse guy, so he stood on business and he has to be held accountable for it. 100%.
Didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Like we care what you think.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over. And this is just my feeling, because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. Listen, they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is
he is cooking Whoopi Goldberg.
Nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying. He don't have to do that.
So we're mad at him because he changed his.
Oh no! By the way, I'm not mad at him pardoning Hunter Biden.
But you sound like you're
mad.
No.
If I can get in on this, I actually.
He cooking her, and she trying to divert away from the facts.
think it went further, and this is one thing we really disagree on. Joe Biden made a point of saying we stand by our institutions and the impartiality of the Department of Justice. Democrats ran on that. This same DOJ indicted Hunter Biden. How we shouldn't be saying it's corrupt like Donald Trump does. But then in his statement pardoning Hunter Biden, he says that it was a political pursuit by his own Department of Justice.
Can you explain to me why it is that when Joe Biden does something, everybody clutches their pearls? He's wrong.
Why does she keep using that as a talking point?
He lied.
Criticized Donald Trump more than me or Charlamagne.
I'm sorry. Yeah, people have criticized him more. I've criticized him more. We've all criticized him more, but you're missing my question. Okay. My question is, what is it that makes people flip out with Joe, but we don't have the same kind of thing?
Well, I don't think people are flipping out with Joe. I think Democrats are flipping out with Joe because Democrats believe that they don't represent what he's currently representing. But that's just not true. That's why I say they stand on this moral high ground that simply does not exist. And I think this is also the problem when we pick sides, right? We've turned political parties into teams. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Ain't nobody more delusional than me, right? Okay? I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl every year, but I'm not delusional. Well, no, that is delusional. But when it comes... But when it comes to political parties, if you pick a side, right, if you say you're a Democrat, if you say you're a Republican, you refuse to be objective about anything.
That's why I'm an independent.
Yes, but that's not,
I think that's the best way to go.
But that's not a monolith. We're not, Democrats are not a monolith.
But why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong?
I'll tell you when Democrats are wrong.
So you don't think Joe Biden is wrong?
No, I don't. And can I just point this out to you? The president has a pardon power,
you're ridiculous.
Right?
Ooh. He said, well, that's ridiculous. And she said, you ridiculous. Oh, when the name calling starts, now he got to go over there and kiss the predator. Check it out.
Say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg. I would never. I say that. I just think that's ridiculous.
Think about it. Just think about it this way.
Don't do it, dog.
Come on.
Oh, no. Now you got to go and kiss. That. But he was cooking. He was absolutely cooking. He was absolutely right. A lot of people are delusional. And that happens on both sides, by the way. It happens on both sides. On both sides, on Republican side, y'all just so happen to be the ones that's catching hell right now. On the Republican side and on the Democratic side, it happens both ways. People are reluctant to be honest. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to volunteer criticism, but they're reluctant to be honest about things that they disagree with when it comes to the Republican side. I had to go back and I did an assessment, and I think I did it live on this show one time. And I did an assessment, and I said, man, what is it that I actually agree with on the Democratic side? And I think some of y'all was here. I said, what do I agree with on the Democrat side? And what do I disagree with? Or what do I agree with on the Republican side? And it was tripped out. And that was only one thing that I was questioning on the Republican side. And I was honest about that. And I think at the time it was climate change. And boy, y'all came up here and y'all started reading me the Riot Act. And y'all started educating me. And so I had to be open-minded to it. And I was open-minded to it. I did my own research. I started learning a little bit more. I'm still a little bit on the fence for it. I have to be honest. And it doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm on the fence for it. But I can't agree with everything just for the sake of agreeing. And I can't sit here and not call a spade a spade. That's why I always say, George W. II, in my opinion, was, and Biden is running a very close second, that George W. II was the worst president of all time. And I also say that I don't disagree with a lot of the things that Barack Obama did in his first term. We have to be objective enough to be able to call a strike, and a ball. And we have to also be objective enough to be able to admit when things are wrong. And I see that more on the liberal side than I see it on the conservative side. That's my take on that. So, yeah, he was over there cooking up on that show. And let me read a couple of super chats and cash apps. This man, Anton, talking to like man butts. What? I have no idea. Y'all got to help yourselves and reread what y'all say before y'all type it. He checking the list. He checking it twice, trying to see who's naughty and nice. AD is going to town. No, I just keep a list. It's for entertainment purposes and motivational purposes. I just be wanting to see what's happening. Spencer Campbell says, I'm trying to work. Shout out to my dog, Spencer Campbell. I appreciate you. And then also, Nikki Parker. Nikki says, oh, how I miss Petty Time Dog. Well, y'all not going to get it every day, so y'all might as well cherish it because hopefully by tomorrow we be saying a prayer before the show and we can have a much more conducive show. Anyways, last but not least, let's go over to Tiffany Henyard, right? Because I do want to talk about Tiffany. I want to give y'all an update on what's going over there. She is absolutely pissed. And when I say pissed, she is 100% pissed about being pushed out of the primary for Thornton Township. Check it out.
We're learning more about last night's Democratic caucus in Thornton Township, which may result in Tiffany Henyard's name not being placed on the ballot for supervisor.
Nate Rogers has been following this story closely, joining us live now with the latest on what's happening. Nate?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. What a mess. I got to tell you, we've been speaking to attorneys all day long about yesterday's
Does Nate have a matching sweater with his jacket? Is Nate coordinating? Is he coordinating? Shout out to Nate. Nate occasionally breaks out and he say, hey, listen, this ain't the Nate of last year. I'm upgrading this year. Nate occasionally breaks out and he gets the matching sweater with the jacket, with the hat. I'm surprised he ain't got the gloves on there too. I just learned something new the other day. I went and bought some gloves. And Rita said, I bet you don't know what the tips of those gloves are for. I said, I bet you I do. These gloves, I bought these gloves and they had these tips on them right here. She said, I bet you don't know what the tips of those gloves is for. I said, it's for decoration. I don't know. And she said, it's for being able to scroll through your phone and tap the screen of your phone. I said, what? I didn't know that. I'm so used to wearing the leather gloves. We're not wearing these. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that the tips of these is so that you can actually scroll through and do stuff on your phone like normal? I just found that out. I learned something new the other day. Let's continue, Nate.
Very chaotic caucus, Democratic caucus in Thornton Township. Attorneys represent.
Now, everybody, I know that a lot of y'all knew, but some people didn't know that. Some people didn't know that. Some people didn't know that, all right?
Senator Napoleon Harris, who led the caucus, tell us that Henyard did not have a full slate, including a certified assessor. We also spoke to Henyard herself by phone today, and her attorney, they claimed that she was specifically targeted by caucus rules.
Napoleon Harris is a coward. He is a coward for not allowing the people to be heard.
Those rules eliminated any chances that Tiffany Henyard had, even if she had nominated anyone, even if she had nominated herself.
And take a look at your screen. Attorney Max Solomon is referencing this document right here, page 5 of caucus rules.
There's people in the chat that's saying that they didn't know. Stop acting like everybody knew. If it's only 1% of us that just now figured it out, it was worth talking about.
Supervisor candidates cannot already appear on the ballot for another office. Henyard is currently running for re-election as Dalton's mayor. Solomon says they did not receive caucus rules until the day of. Harris's attorney says they could have asked for the rules earlier. Now, yesterday's caucus was slated to start at 7 p.m., but Harris's supporters were pre-registered. They were allowed in earlier. The caucus lasted 7 minutes, with Harris being nominated as Thornton Township Supervisor for the Democratic ticket. Fox 32 reached out to a non-partial election attorney and sent her the caucus rules. Here's more from attorney Carolyn Kaufner.
I have reviewed the caucus rules that they employed yesterday, and I know that they weren't followed because one of them requires everybody who's there, who's voting, to sign in and sign an affidavit attesting that they're qualified under the rules set forth by the election code and also by the caucus. I know there were people present there that didn't sign those affidavits who voted anyway, so that shows me there's a flaw. I know there were candidates for other offices who are not members of the Democratic Party who are running in this election as independent candidates for office in Thornton Township. I've heard they were present and participating. So what it sounds like is this was a little bit of a free-for-all.
So, and again, this is one of the reasons why I was saying that yesterday, is that all they're doing is setting up the township to have to spend more money, because you know that it's going to be lawsuits filed, and you know that there's going to be more contention. And I don't understand why. Listen. Everybody was so celebratory yesterday because they don't like Tiffany Henyard. And I agree that I believe that she did a horrible job as a Thornton Township supervisor and as the Dalton mayor, as I am familiar with a lot of the things that she did. But when you rush things through, when you have a 7-minute meeting, when you don't actually do things, and when people can see, the initial reaction is always going to be, oh yeah, they got her out of there and all of this other stuff. That's what the initial reaction is going to be. But after the fallout and after all of the celebration, you're going to find out that when they try to do things dirty and when you try to do things backhanded, because let's be clear, for all of the people that are happy that she's out, what are you getting in return if she's not in? All right, let me pose it to you this way, because I got a completely different way to look at it. Because this person is basically telling you that they did it the wrong way, okay? So for all of the people that are happy that she's out, let's look at it from a different perspective. I'll use a different example. I like to use examples in order to illustrate a point, okay? Everybody was happy that Lori Lightfoot was ousted as mayor of Chicago. What did they get in return? Brandon Johnson, who in my opinion is 10 times worse. When we don't actually go through the process to inform ourselves, and the only thing that you're doing is voting based off of hate, you can't make an informed decision. And who's to say that the person that is then representing them in the Democratic primary is any better or different, and that they're not going to be exponentially worse, or they may be better than Tiffany Henyard. Everybody that is celebrating her ouster, they're not even informed enough to realize what the thing that the person that is her opponent is running on, and how would they be any different? How would they be any different? And see, people look at me and they say, oh, Anton, but she gone, she a criminal. Man, I don't care. I care about informing people and making informed decisions. And when people are armed with information, if they still make a wrong decision, then they have to live with it. But we cannot circumvent the election process, because when you start to skip steps, when you try to oust people real fast, when you have a 7-minute meeting, when everybody is not registered properly, when they didn't sign an affidavit, when you didn't send out all of the meeting notes, or the fact that you're going to have a caucus until the day of, then that, first of all, continues to put taxpayers at a disadvantage, because now you got to spend money in order to justify that you did what you did. And hopefully you don't have to go back on your word and do the thing that you did. And a lot of times what you do is you then help the person that you're trying to oust still get into office because you didn't do it the right way. If you are so confident that you can beat her, then beat her. If you are confident that you can beat her, then beat her. But what you're doing is that you're continuing to... We are so ignorant that we just react emotionally to everything. And so when I take a step back and I say, wait a minute, y'all. I don't necessarily care for her, but this ain't the right way to go about doing it. Oh, Anton, I can't believe it. Why you... Blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm able to make a smart business decision based off of logic, and I don't think and react based off of emotions. That's why I then get the results that I get, and I can stand on it, and I don't have to worry about anything coming back to haunt me. And so when you go about doing things wrong, which is one of the reasons why you got her in there in the first place, is because y'all keep on reacting emotionally, and you won't go through the process. You won't inform yourself. Nobody that's even mad at her, that's mad at her ouster, can tell me anything about her opponent. Nobody can tell me anything about her opponent. How do you know you're not getting a Brandon Johnson instead of a Lori Lightfoot now? Because everybody was happy when they ousted Lori Lightfoot, but nobody realized that they was actually getting... They didn't just get a demon, because Lori Lightfoot was the demon and Brandon Johnson was the devil. They ousted the demon for the devil. Tell me about the person that y'all got. Tell me about the person that replacing her in the Democratic primary. Why don't y'all consider an independent? How come y'all not considering a Republican? Why don't you go through the process instead of trying, oh, you know what? We did that 30 years ago. We did that 40 years ago. We're going to go through the caucus. It's going to be 7 minutes. We're going to get her out of there. Now look at you. Now you got to go back on your word. You look at the whole township. All of them people that were saying, hey, goodbye. All of y'all look like fools. And this is the reason why y'all township and y'all cities is messed up in the first place. It's the reason why y'all townships and y'all cities is messed up in the first place. It's because it's all emotional, ignorant BS, and nobody can actually make an emotional decision and think that they're going to get great results as a result of it. Tell me about the other guy. Do you even know his name? Do you even know his name? Do you know what the voter turnout rate was for her to get 80-something% of the vote in the first time that she was there, that she became mayor of Dolton? Somebody said, AD, you emotional. You told somebody to suck it from the back on this show. No, that's called entertaining. I'm entertaining. That's what I am. I'm entertaining. All I'm saying is this. We have to start thinking our way through. We can get physical, we can get emotional, we can jump off the roof and all of this stuff. What I'm telling you is that when you go through the process and you do it the right way, when you win, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it 10 times over 10. When you do things the right way and you don't make a decision based off of emotion and you make informed decisions, it's always going to be beneficial for you in the long run. It's always going to work out. I guarantee you this. This is what I know for sure. One thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. Based off of the way that the people over there in Thornton Township and how they operate, and even in Dolton, based off of the way that they moving, nothing is going to change whether she's there or not. Because A, they still going to be a blue Democratic hellhole. B, you don't know anything about the person that's coming in to replace her. And then C, the same people that voted her in is still there that's continuing to make emotional decisions. It's got to be a mindset shift. It's got to be a mindset change. You got to be so fed up with yourself that you start to educate yourself and you make better decisions. Ain't nothing going to change. What you think that Dolton is going to be different, that Thornton Township is going to be different? It's not. It's not. Absolutely not. And you can move all you want to. You still got to take you with you. You can move all you want to. You still taking you with you. You taking the ignorant you that's dusty, broke, and disgusted. And just because you're running away from your problems don't mean that your problems ran away from you. Wherever you go, you take you with you. You can move wherever you want to. It's a lot of people that moved all over this country. The people moved to Atlanta, ruined it. Moved down to Houston. Same people that was in Atlanta being sassy, they moved to Houston, ruined it. Houston mayor came in and say, oh, we broke now. You're taking you with you. Ain't no difference. You still you. At the end of the day, you still you. No matter where you go. Let me read some of these super chats and then we'll go ahead. It's been an interesting show. You don't know what you're going to get on the Millionaire Morning Show. No racial jungle for Joe's kids growing up. He sure don't want his son in the penitentiary zoo with the rest of the racial jungle 94 crime bill victims. Shout out to Lee Mickles. I appreciate you. Good morning, AD. If they can send Africa $1 billion, why can't they slide Kamala 20 M's? That's Mr. Martinez. Phoenix, what up, Phoenix? Says the Republican candidates on the ticket, they held a separate caucus and her ticket is ready to go. All affidavits were signed from an inside source. She was notified 2 weeks ahead of time. I don't know who this inside source is. I don't know any of the details, but I think that they got a fight on their hands. MP says the way he moved is no better than Tiff. I agree. I think that this shows his character, the way that he did it. He's doing the same thing that the Democrats was doing in Kamala Harris. They're not running They're not voting for him. They're voting against Tiffany Henyard. Wealth Building Journey says facts. The elected leaders are merely a visible representation of the people who elected them into office. Wherever you go, there you are. Shout out to you, Wealth Building Journey. I appreciate y'all and everybody that held me down on the Millionaire Morning Show today. You may not necessarily agree with me, but don't mean that I'm not right. Listen, it's been one of them shows. I didn't know if we was going to be able to get through this show, but it's definitely been an interesting show to say. Make sure y'all tune in to After Hours tonight. This is crazy. I would move After Hours to Saturday, but I got to make sure that I stream on Thursday because I know that other people stream on Thursdays that I don't necessarily care for. No matter what, we not going to miss a Thursday. No matter what, we not going to miss a Thursday. Lonnie, what up, Lonnie? Lonnie says, when you steals from people's, the rules fly off the table. Was they wrong? Yes, but so what? She hit me first. She played dirty first. Did dirty the Chicago way. Okay, you go ahead and keep doing that. You go ahead and keep doing that. We don't miss Thursdays. We can move around Fridays, maybe even a Tuesday or two, but we definitely don't miss Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, we stream on Thursdays. I'm gonna need y'all to pull up to After Hours tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Be petty. Stay pretty, my friends.